the Galactic Soul, the Honorable Brother, the Revolutionary yourself, Darius Lockhart, and I'm here to tell you to watch Powerbombshells every Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on the Fight Game Media YouTube channel. That's right, every Sunday at 1 p.m., and that's on time, every time, because when we stand together, what time is it? That's right, it's nation time.
Welcome to Powerbombshells 186. I'm Mel, that's Sam. We're just two broads talking about the wrestling we like. We are on our own time today. We are really sorry we're late.
I had some in real life things that I was dealing with that made me late.
No, wizard time, okay? Wizard time.
It is wizard time, but also we would have been closer to our usual wizard time if I didn't have to deal with I had to deal with my dad's dogs.
Sam is not just Sam is a lovely person all the way around, and her sister as well, and they do wonderful things for their family when their family is in need of it, and that's just cool.
Yes, we were everything was on track, and literally right as we were getting ready to herd all the dogs inside, one escaped, and when we went to go round up that dog, another dog escaped who we didn't think she could fit through that area because this is a new place that we've discovered that they can escape because my dad had some things repaired, and it's basically behind him. Two people have fences, except for when those people had their fences built, they don't share a wall. They have two fences, and there's a gap. And he has figured out how to get through that gap, but we didn't think that the other dog is a lot bigger, and we didn't think she could fit. And she didn't. He escaped Wednesday, and that's how we found out he could escape. And so. Today he was on a lead, but they were roughhousing, and I guess it came loose. And he broke out. And then while we were coming around the street where he was at, and realized one of the third dog, luckily she can't jump high enough to get through that spot, so she didn't get out. But so yes, so I had to hurry up. And so we got them corralled and got them inside, and then I had not eaten at all today, so I had to cram down a peanut butter and jelly sandwich before we came on. And so but we're here, and it's WrestleDream Day, and if anybody in the chat got to see, or who was watching, if you got to see Mercedes versus Persephone last night, that was an incredible match. It was so good. Definitely one of the best matches Mercedes has had in her title reign. Awesome. Really, it was great. And I hate Triller kept I guess because Triller was they were the English commentary, so they blurred out, or they edited out her song, and it was quiet, so we didn't get to hear anything. I didn't even know that she came out to a different song until I saw clips of it, because I noticed when she came out, and I was like, I think she's paying homage to Selena, but she was coming down the steps and I couldn't see very well. And I was like, it's the cut. The color looks kind of similar. I think she has the bangs like Selena. And then turns out later she came out to a Selena song, but Triller blocked it. And then afterwards she cut a promo, and we didn't get to hear it. So I didn't know until a half an hour later that she made an open challenge for WrestleDream, because Triller blurted out. I mean, they did have Olympia came out, and she was like, nah, not you. I'll wrestle you another time in America, and I'm not wrestling you here. And she was like, not you. And so we did. So I was just like, oh, sweet. She's going to wrestle Olympia sometime. That'll be cool. And then I started seeing things. I was like, what do you mean she made an open challenge for WrestleDream? Because Triller didn't let us hear any of that. So it was a nice surprise.
That's and you have an eye for it, because obviously you pay attention to that sort of thing. So you notice that. Yeah. It's I just think it's for years, I did not know Togi Makabe's theme song, because it's geo-locked here, and it's a Led Zeppelin cut or something like that, and I'm like, really, America? Wow.
Right. Yeah, it was. Yeah, Crash pointed out that Persephone's mom, Mercedes was playing super just a huge Ruda, she was playing it up. They hated her last night, and she was just giving it to them. She got her family involved. She's threw water on them. It was great.
Wow.
Like Mercedes really, like, she just really stepped it up. Like she knows what her assignment is, no matter where she wrestles. Like, obviously she's wrestled in Rev Pro. They love her there. It took her a while, obviously, in the beginning of AEW to kind of get her footing, but she's figured it out, especially when it comes to Mexico. She basically was doing a better version of MJF. Not the racist tropes, not like that type of stuff, but just knowing what to do to get the crowd angry at her, and she was doing it. Like anytime Persephone would get momentum, she'd cut it off. And just like Persephone nearly beat her a couple of times. Like Persephone is great. I think that whenever she does drop that CMLL title, it should still be to Persephone because she's phenomenal.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And Maria said she saw the match. It was amazing. And she thinks Dakota is answering the challenge. I don't think it's Dakota because it is apparently Toni says, because Toni finally tweeted about it this morning, that it's any champion is what the challenge is. So Dakota.
That's what I assumed it had to be because she's up to 10 belts, right?
No, she's up to 11 belts.
Oh, she has hit the 11 mark.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, it is 10. I was thinking tomorrow. If I'm not mistaken, the Jody Threat match is tomorrow. And if she wins that would be the 11th title. But now that this is happening, so she could potentially, if that match with Jody Threat is tomorrow, she could potentially, she'll come out of this weekend with 12 titles, which for
definitely.
the people,
well, I mean, 11 beats the.
Cry and say that Owen is not a real belt and it doesn't count. Well, if she ends up with 11 titles, then she'll technically, or she'll end up with, I'm sorry, she wins tonight and wins tomorrow, she'll have 12 titles. So that'll cancel out the Owen belt that you don't think is a real belt, because a lot of people that hate this gimmick, they're like, well, the Owen's not even a real belt, so it doesn't count. Well, if she wins tonight and tomorrow, it will count. It will.
Just people who don't like this, who don't get what's happening here, are gonna in 2 months are gonna be like, oh my god, she's the greatest thing ever when she starts losing them. That's just I saw on Twitter, is this true that she beat the 500 mark for
she beat yesterday. She beat Mercedes, Jade's title reign was 508, which is what we added. We did the math a few months ago.
Right.
And so yesterday she officially broke it. She was at 509. Okay. So we knew she'd go in today at 510. I don't see her losing any titles anytime soon.
Not yet.
It's not yet. Because of the way things are playing out. I think she will, and we'll talk. Well, I mean, obviously we'll get to the card, but yeah, she's not dropping any of those titles anytime soon.
No, I don't think it's going to happen yet. But when it does start happening, it's going to be spectacular, and people are going to be, oh my god. Yes. You'll get it. You'll see. Yeah. And you'll love it. Complain all you want to. There is a method here.
Yeah, and even like she just won the Body Slam title, and the title was obviously featured on the shot, and Body Slam was like, look how cool it is that our title is here. Like, look at this. Like, our title, people know about our promotion now because Mercedes has this title, which is why this is why these indies keep giving her these titles and allowing her to win. It's because now I had never heard of Body Slam. I know bodyslam.net that Cassidy Haynes owns, and people, but I did not know about Body Slam, the wrestling promotion. And there's like, and she has the title from someone from a company in Austria. Like, I didn't know about any of these, and she's getting, and then she comes back. She does defend her titles because people are like, well, when is she going to defend them? Well, she defended the Rev Pro title in August. Yeah, she defended the Rev Pro title in August at Forbidden Door weekend. She just defended the CMLL title. She's also, I believe, she's scheduled to defend one of the titles in Rome, which we talked about last week. In Rome next month, she's defending another title. So like she is defending these titles. Like, it's not, besides the TBS championship, like she is defending her titles. And so it's not like she's taking them and that's it. These companies want that on them because I want that title on her. And the girl she beat at Body Slam is a wrestler because of her. She said, she's like, I became a wrestler because of her. I can't believe I got to share the ring with her. If she had stayed in WWE, Mercedes, these women would never be able to, most of these women would never have an opportunity to wrestle her because most of them are not going to get signed by WWE. But with her being outside of that, she's able to wrestle these women who are wrestlers because of her. That's an incredible thing. And she's, you know, Mercedes had said when she first came, she's like, I'm going to elevate women's wrestling globally. And she's done it. Yep. She continues to do it. So I love what she's doing. I'm excited about the open challenge today for her. I have some, we'll get to when we go through the card. I have some theories on, or there's been some theories on who it could be, which we'll get to. But, you know, WrestleDream has gotten, I mean, I was already excited for WrestleDream, but now I'm even more excited. So this will be the first this will be the first AEW pay-per-view with 3 women's matches on the card. Technically 4 if you count the pre-show. One of those, or 2 of those matches, counting the pre-show match, 2 of those matches have nothing to do with the title. We're getting some non-title matches, which rarely happens. So it's exciting things for the women's division. I'm glad to see the momentum, and I'm glad to see that it feels like Toni finally gets it, that like women are a draw. Your fans want to see wrestling, women's wrestling. I mean, we've got, of course, there's lots of other things to work on, like more than one match on Dynamite every quarter.
As you pressed him on and he kind of dodged a question a little bit, having a C2.
Having a C2, getting a main event on a pay-per-view. I know another popular one has been letting her wrestle, letting somebody have an Iron Woman match. Like there's still things, but we're getting there. And it's nice to see, and I really love the mixed matches that they're doing and letting the women get involved with the men, and not just keeping it women with women and men. They're letting women, especially Willow, letting her get in.
Oh my god, I love
this. I couldn't be happier.
I love that they're integrating. They're just making factions. It's just everyone's in the faction, wrestlers, women, men, whatever. Jet Speed and Willow is like my favorite thing in the world. Like if you don't love that, I don't know how to help you.
It is for me. It is for me. I love it.
Seriously, I was like marking out so hard because we were catching up because we were obviously at Fair last week and I forgot to watch the Collision. So we were watching it and I was like, this is the greatest thing ever.
It's so much fun.
This, I can't help you. You just,
it's so much fun. And then they're letting Megan Bain is getting involved with the men too, which is really cool. So she's great. And then like I've said, like ROH has really been leaning in. I haven't watched this week's episode, but I know this week they had GYV and Isla Dawn as a team. And like their ROH has really been leaning into the mixed tag matches, even trios matches. They've been leaning into those the last 3 or 4 weeks. So it seems like across the board, they're kind of testing out and see what fans are into. And I think from what I've seen, the fan response has been really into it. I even mentioned on the call when it came to a question, I was like, the women there's been a lot of really good momentum with the women's division lately. And I really enjoy the mixed match stuff that's happening. And then that's what led into the C2 thing. Because I was like, I know I complain about the women's division. I still will. But I do appreciate, and I really love the mixed match stuff because that's something that I think a lot of people have been wanting is intergender wrestling, especially people who watch the indies and see that happen on a regular basis. And I know that Toni has been against it because he's not been a fan of it. But even if I don't know if this is the doorway into getting will we get Willow versus Dax 1-on-1? I don't know. I don't know if Toni is going to let that happen. But I am enjoying what we're getting so far. Yeah. I hope we eventually get to something like that. That would be incredible. But I am happy that it's taken this long to convince him to at least do this much. So hopefully it doesn't take
baby steps.
Hopefully it doesn't take 6 more years to get 1-on-1. But I am pleased. I don't think
that's going to happen because I think the women are starting to outshine like Toni's bias. You know what I mean? They're like starting to get undeniable. Like they're really drawing and they're really making people happy.
They are a draw. People want to see them. People are talking about them. They're asking about them. And especially like I said, like I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, like Raw had 3 women's matches. Like that, you can't let it's very, you can't let, as people have pointed out, you can't let the sexual assault company do better at women's wrestling than you do.
Right.
Like, you gotta step it up. So I'm happy, cautiously optimistic as always with the women's division, but I'm very happy with a lot of the movement that's been happening, and which is really exciting. And so I'm very excited about that. Michael said when I asked about a women's classic in the media call, and he said we'd have to see us stop listening. Yeah, I mean, it's not the first time I've asked, and I'm not the only one. Like, there have been other women on that call who have asked about the C2. It's not just me. And so, I mean, I guess we're just going to keep
me up because
we always
end up having cute chats about how Toni fears Sam. So he's like, "Oh crap, I have to call on her again."
Why I wanted him to know. I mean, I've been vocal about it on here and on Twitter, but I was like, "Hey, like, I appreciate the what's been happening in the women's division. I appreciate the tag belts and that we're getting a women's blood and guts, and that there's a ROH women's pure title maybe eventually sometime whenever that tournament." Still have only had 2 matches in that tournament since August the 29th, but.
I love that you put blood and guts in my town, and it's the latest one.
And I will be at Blood and Guts.
However,
keep
pushing.
Yeah, we're gonna keep.
Pushing.
We're not gonna just because we got tag team titles doesn't mean I'm gonna stop pushing you about it. Now you have to. Now that we're getting the titles, like as we've talked about many times, you have to keep the tag team division going. Like, you have to have feuds for them. You have to build up. You have to put effort into it. You can't just be like, here, damn, here's some belts like the other company has done.
Yeah.
You need to have them. Luckily, like Charlotte and Alexa have been defending them on a regular basis. They had a really great match last night because I was on live coverage for it. So, like, they are being a little bit more active with it. But so that's the thing. But so far, so good. And we'll see how that goes. Yeah, that's going to be fun.
I hope it doesn't go down that way. I really do. I'm hopeful it's not going to go down that way with the tag team belts because of these women are really killing it right now. Like, there's some fun personalities in the women's division. Just awesome. Yep, agree.
Yes. Oh, Michael, yeah, for real. I had the whole show on, and I was technically still working last night, and then we weren't sure what time Mercedes' match was going to happen. Because we didn't know if it was going to be really long like the other CMLL shows, but it ended up not being too bad. But yes, Scotty and versus Stanley, which was the match before Mercedes and Persephone, was excellent. It was a really, really good match. I really enjoyed that a lot, which is what I love about the CMLL crossover, even in ROH, is because I'm getting exposed to so many more people, and like Echecero, of course. But
once I get done reading all the insurance that I have to read, I am definitely going to start tuning back into the CML because I really enjoy Lucha, and I even love listening to the Spanish announcers. I don't care that it's not my native language at all. They are so awesome. They add so much to the experience.
They do.
It's like with the soccer announcers back in like the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like for me.
Yeah, they're a ton of fun. And so last night it was on Triller, and so Veda Scott was on commentary, which was great listening to her. That's so it was just all of it. And they've got I really like the presentation in Arena Mexico. Like, when if you think New Japan has a lot of streamers when somebody wins, right, I think Arena Mexico has them beat, because the amount of confetti for Mercedes last night was insane. They are going to be cleaning that up for a week because it was just so much confetti everywhere. Like, they nearly put New Japan to shame with how much they have. It was insane how much they had.
That's rad.
Yes. So we just have some people, taking some power naps in here. Yes,
thank you guys. Welcome to the chat. Thank you for joining us for the pre-show.
Yes, I did. I wasn't really going to talk about it because I don't want to give them more attention. But yeah, somebody got mad at my question.
Oh yeah, I saw that troll.
Yeah. They wanted me to. They said that just me, apparently. Like nobody else.
Not another woman journalist in the room.
They didn't ask any of the other women or any of the other people why they didn't ask about it. Just me. They said I should have asked why AEW airs ICE ads. And I said, do you think AEW pay AEW for those ads? They are paying the networks that they air on. And he was like, well, you still should have asked because he might have slipped. Slipped for what? What is he going to say? They're not paying Tony Khan. They're not paying AEW. They're not paying WWE. They're not paying the NFL. They're not paying college football. They're paying the networks.
Paying the networks.
So why would I ask that? And then why are you coming after me? Why aren't you asking any of the other reporters who were on that call? If it's such a big deal to you?
I mean, that's my distinct question here is there's a lot of people in those calls, right? 20, 30, yeah. I don't know, 100 people.
I mean, it just depends. Yeah, there's a good chunk of people on there.
But, double digits, we'll say. Why exactly is it yours and your alone responsibility?
I guess because the women's teacher is not good enough. And he was like, well, he didn't really answer. Some other person stepped in and he was like, well, he didn't really answer your question anyway, so why didn't you ask it?
Oh, he didn't. Dude, if we were going off Toni not answering Sam's questions, she would literally never, ever ask a question again.
Yes.
Oh, that's all. Honestly,
why would I ask a question I'm not going to get an answer to? And he's like, well, he didn't really answer your question. What is he going to say about ads?
He never answers her questions.
He's going to say they pay the networks, not me. I don't choose what commercials air.
He's going to say exactly what we've all been saying, which is here's the link to HBO's people that are marketing, just like Hangman Page.
I myself have filled out those. I have filled them out.
Same here. And I'll keep doing it.
Yeah.
I love that. The day that happened when Hangman was like, if you want to bitch about it, here's the links. I went right to the links and I was like, that's my champion right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly.
That's why, abolish ICE and F all that, and maybe I hope we don't get demonetized, but whatever.
Yeah, no, we've been very vocal. We've been very vocal on that, for the last few weeks.
That would be a stupid waste of your question anyway.
That's what I said. But listen, when you get on these questions, ask them whatever the hell you want and see what happens.
Yeah, right. When you're a journalist and you go to journalist school and you get all your credentials and you spend like years going to freaking all the stuff that Sam's been through, then you can come up here like a big boy and ask Toni about the ICE ads that we all know are paid for by corporate.
You're atting me. Why don't you at Toni and see if he answers random people? At him and see what he says.
That's so silly. I did see that troll starting with you and was like an ad, of course, as you would imagine. My head is actually starting to hurt from rolling my eyes so much.
Yeah, I almost continued, but then I saw his bio his bio was talking about how he was a troll and he's a jerk, and I was like, yeah, I'm not wasting my time. I'm done. Which is why I didn't plan on talking about it today because I didn't want to give him I didn't want to give him more of the attention that he wanted. But now he's got it. So
this happens,
And now we're going to move on from that.
We sure are.
Any more time with him.
We're going to talk to you guys about fun stuff and not angry, stupid trolls. The only troll that I want to talk about is Hob the Troll, who I got to see last weekend in person or in Troll, and love that guy. Yeah. Feed the good trolls, leave the other ones alone.
Exactly. Yes. It's See, so sorry for making you put energy, and it's fun to rant with others. Yes.
Agree. The rant is necessary because we do need to call out doofuses. We need to start calling these doofuses out. I am starting a call out the doofuses campaign. When a person is being a blatant doofus and you see that in your community, you need to say, hey, brother or sister, gender neutral term, person, stop being a freaking doofus. That's your neighbor. That's someone who lives by you. Stop being a doofus to them.
Yeah, I think his point was that I don't know. I guess he thought it like, I don't know if he thinks that because I told him, I said, do you think that they're paying AEW and WWE and the NFL? Do you think that's who they're paying? paying the
Warner Brothers and
network.
NBC.
The network are the one who accept ad dollars, not the company.
Advertising information.
They don't have any. They are not paying Tony Khan directly. They are not paying Nick Khan directly. They're not paying Roger Goodell directly.
No, the Department of Marketing and Advertising at Warner Brothers Discovery or NBC or Universal or whatever are handling that.
Right.
I knew a guy who worked advertising and radio out west.
Yeah, there's tons of everything you hear on the radio.
Their job is to go out and
I was going to say they have complete radio and television have complete sales. The newspapers, digital publications have sales departments specifically. They don't do anything else but that. But try to sell ad space. And so, I mean, maybe some people have different things on like what they will and will not air. But like he has nothing to it has nothing to do with Tony Khan. So why would I ask him that? That's what.
No, you know who you should be calling about. If you have a problem with that, call your local representative who should be actually invoking the Hatch Act because that's straight up propaganda and they're using our tax money. And there's actually a law against doing that that Congress could fucking do something about.
Yeah.
Maybe try that route.
Right. Because that's why I was like, what's Tony? Because Tony's answer would have been, that goes through the network. That's through the stations. We don't have
that's not
any
a good
we don't have any say
anyway.
on what ads air. That's
a bad question. It's just a bad journalist question. You would be a bad journalist.
Oh, no, apparently I'm not a good journalist because I didn't ask that.
Well, because you're a lady.
Again.
Because you didn't ask that with internal genitalia.
Yeah, apparently so. I was like, you didn't go after any of the men. There are other women on that call. I guess their questions were better. I guess knowing the history of Mox and Darby Allin was more important. I mean,
dude, I just love the idea that you're supposed to be the sole arbiter.
I was like, so am I supposed to crowdsource questions now? I go to this hell site and ask, what do you want me to ask Tony Khan?
We've tried that on here. We have a smart and intuitive and rational, for the most part, like we get a troll here and there, but our general community here that show up for us on the weekends, they're very fun and give us lots of fun things that we could like potentially ask Tony, or we just anything else besides that, really just, Right. And anyway, I personally, this is my personal opinion, I might be slightly biased, but I think Sam asks insightful, intelligent, journalistic questions when she's on these calls.
Thank you.
She got to ask Sting a fucking question like, who's this guy? Who's he ever beat? Like, just whatever. Sometimes you need to engage them, but really in the end of the day, they're all
that's why I asked him. That's why I was like, do you think? And then when he kept going, then he decided he was going to quote tweet me and start trying to do that shit. And I was like, no, I'm not playing this game. I have a million other things to do today, and talking to you is not one of them.
You're like, I will allow you to allow me to live rent free in your head for as long as you need, while I'm over here continuing to exist in my life.
Which, again, is why I didn't want to bring too much energy to it. But like you said, sometimes you do have to call that out. But
people are
that's enough of that. We've spent way too much time on him and that. So, but yeah, so we do have a very exciting pay-per-view today. We will talk about, where's the question? Fernando was asking about our thoughts on the stuff with Andrade El Idolo, the non-compete situation. Should he sue WWE? Yes.
Yes. My personal feels, and I talked to Laurent and I were both talking about this, is that I find non-competes to be a total force for the corporate class and the elite class to, this is no different because I saw this happen to a lot of friends out west. I'm a software engineer. I get fired from Google. I go to work for Apple, but I can't because they're within 7 miles. Dude, I'm a software engineer. What am I supposed to do for work?
They do that in the vet world, because I have worked at various vets, and doctors have a non-compete where they can't compete within like 100 mile radius, or they can't go to other they can't go to like even another, like the next county over. Like they can't even do that.
I signed one for the soccer company that I ran. I signed one in case I quit the company and wanted to go out and start my own soccer company. So it's like their non-competes should be abolished entirely. Yeah. And so this situation here, I mean, he has to fight it, but they're also opening a legal can of worms that they probably don't want to open, because if you're going to start down that path, you're going to start a conversation about non-competes that needs to be had. Right. And maybe we do see them gone away with.
Right. So here's hoping. Doing the non-compete in a way that he can't compete in any combat sport. So if he wanted to go to MMA, he can't even do that for a year. Not even the standard 90 days. That's a year that you cannot work. You're taking a year out of, especially most.
What else is he trained to do?
Right, that's what I'm saying. Most wrestlers, unless they wrestle, they're Japanese wrestlers who wrestle into their, or Ricky Morton, who wrestle well into their 50s and 60s. And I mean that, I say that with love. Ricky Morton.
I know you do.
He's still entertaining as hell when I do.
I love Ricky Morton. I would see it. I want another Talking Shop-a-mania, and I want him in it.
Yeah. Most New Japan shows or Ricky Morton, like unless you're those type of wrestlers, like they don't have the longest shelf life, especially, and then it's even shorter for women wrestlers. You're taking a year out of their career, a year out of their productivity of being a performer, because you don't want them to go wrestle for your competition. And the thing is, it's even worse with this, from what the information that we have, and clearly I'm not a lawyer. But it just sounds like they would not have cared if he went to wrestle Mexico. Of
course.
It's because they thought he would not go back to AEW. They thought Tony would want nothing to do with him. So the minute he did that, they were like, "Oh no, he felt multiple wellness violations. He had multiple wellness violations, and also he can't compete for a year."
Which is even dumber because like we talked about a few weeks ago, if you knew this guy was like a trouble person for all these weeks and he kept failing all these so-called wellness, things that don't exist, and we all know it.
Right.
Like, why did you keep him on the books for 26 weeks or something like that?
He never missed 30 days. He didn't miss 90 days. So if he were suspended, they kept letting him compete. And
I'm actually a little bit on I kind of think that they should sue, because I do think that WWE doesn't realize the can of worms that they're opening here legally.
From what I have heard, apparently his lawyer is not the Beast Morphos, which I don't know why my tribal chief is right there. He will also read your tarot for you.
That's a choice.
Andrade, he will ask him. He will read the card. He will pull. Maybe you should ask him to do a tarot card reading on if you should hire him or if you should sue. But apparently, from what's been going around, he has a very good lawyer. So I don't know what that means as far as, is he filing a lawsuit? Is he negotiating? Is he just protecting himself? But Maria, no, he cannot wrestle anywhere. He cannot. They had to pull him. I believe the match. I know he was. Actually, I take that back. I believe he cannot. I'm almost positive he cannot compete anywhere. He was originally supposed to have a match today in Puerto Rico.
I'd take this to court.
But I can't remember if they pulled that. But then he was supposed to wrestle in Mexico. But I've heard he was pulled from that, but it didn't have anything to do with this. I don't know how accurate that is. So I could be wrong. I don't think he's allowed to compete anywhere.
I think that I would take this to court, because that's excessive.
Maybe I'm way wrong, Maria. Maybe it is just the U.S., but I thought it was okay. So Lady B said she thought it was just American companies, but it's so confusing. I could be wrong. So Maria, we will try to get an answer for you once this starts playing out more. But I do want to go back to this question, Michael.
Thank you.
Thank you. First of all, is it going to show me?
There it is.
Okay, there it goes. Sorry, I hit it. Okay. Hit it too many times. So first of all, Michael, thank you. Do we get any title changes tonight?
Oh, let's see.
Let me scan this card real quick, because my initial instinct is no. But let me look at the card. Let me scan over it just in case there's something I'm forgetting about. Women's men tag. I'm gonna say no.
No.
If there is a title change, it's the tag titles.
Agree. I think that's the most likely.
Yeah. I think that would be the only title change. I know perhaps Samoa Joe makes it more intriguing since he has said that he will be retiring soon, but from what I've heard, nobody knows when his contract is up. So it could be 3 years from now. It could be 6 months from now. It could be next week. So we don't, from what I've heard, maybe it's come out since then. I have not heard when that contract ends. I do think maybe they're kind of doing the Danielson route where they're going to let him wrestle whoever the hell he wants. And even if it's just, hey, I'm thinking about winding down, I'd like to get a title shot against Hangman. Like that type of stuff, maybe. But that's I could be wrong, but I think I don't see any title changes, but if it is, it's probably the tag titles.
Yeah, I also am going to have to agree with that. And I don't see it being like where they are right now, where a lot of these people are right now in their early tenure, needing to have good matches. I just don't see, just because of what's happening right now. I just can't, but he could swerve us. And
like also
we're
leading into Full Gear, and that's one of the original 4 pay-per-views. When they were only doing 4 pay-per-views a year, that pay-per-view is named for Hangman Page. It came from a BTE bit. We've talked about that a lot lately. He's going into Full Gear. I think he will go into Full Gear as champion on top of that. If there's going to be title changes, I would assume it would be Full Gear. But like you said, he's been known to swerve us. So
this seems like, as I was putting this one together, I realized there's a lot of, like you were talking about, a lot of there's a lot. I feel like there's a lot of setup in this pay-per-view in terms of like storyline. I feel like there's a lot of matches that are building things as opposed to like, big title change match times. I think we're setting up future,
and we're also,
and it's also an Inoki. Fundamentally, it's an Inoki tribute show, so
which he did, which he was asked about.
Oh yeah,
about how this.
How come that reporter didn't ask about the ice ads?
I guess he wanted to know more about Inoki.
I'm sorry.
He asked about why this, how, because there aren't really any New Japan wrestlers or anything on this card, and he was like, this card was for, and he's like, well, we have the IWGP champion, Konosuke Takeshita. We have one of the best Japanese wrestlers of all time in Kazuchika Okada. Other wrestlers have ties to on this card have ties to New Japan. So, and then that's when he made the big reveal that since they're in St. Louis, he thinks that it's happening because he's had correspondence with her. Lou Thesz's wife will probably be in attendance. And the big thing is that he and Lou Thesz were AOL buddies. He was on his buddy list, and they used to talk to each other. Right. And he says that he learned a lot from Lou Thesz, in part because of their AOL conversations, which is such an insane thing to think about. And then somebody had pointed out that apparently, like, they posted a screenshot, and Lou Thesz was talking about how I can't remember the wrestler off the top of my head. I think I know who it was, but I don't want to be smearing the wrong person, so I'm not going to say. But apparently a really well-known wrestler offered Lou Thesz speed before their match. And he was just telling people this on the internet back in the day, which is so funny because I don't think of Lou Thesz as being somebody like that. Feels like so many generations away that it wouldn't be that person would not be on AOL. But it really wasn't that far away. But
well, that's how early AOL got the jump on everybody.
Also, Toni, because we talked about
You've Got Mail
before Toni had AOL in 1995, which is when only the rich people had AOL.
Right. Yep.
Before you got the free discs in the mail and put them in your computer like that. So Toni, because he obviously came from a wealthy family, he had AOL.
He was on the internet first.
When most of us could not, most of us poors could not afford the internet and had to wait for the free discs. Yes. Team free discs right here.
Right here. Us too. All of us. Yes. You've got mail.
Yeah, so that was he just casually said it. And so somebody, I can't remember now who it was, somebody had quoted me on Blue Sky, and it was like me when I found, he said when he found Steve, why did I just forget his name? I can see him. Steve Carino. There we go. My name
is blank
out, but Steve Carino, he found him and they had like a three message conversation. He's like, yeah, we were friends. Yes.
I chatted with him on
our database on a floppy disk. Yeah. See, I didn't have internet until 2002. Yeah, a lot of us people did not have the internet until like late. I can't remember. I want to say 98, but I could be wrong. It was free disc. I know it was I know it was in the time of the free discs. And you would get them.
We had it around 94, I think. A lot of it is my uncle on the army. He worked in comms. And so he can actually, what we would do for a long time is he would give us his hand-me-downs. So we actually had like Apple IIe's and C's, like his old ones with like one thing we played was like Wheel of Fortune in like 6-bit or something. It was hilarious. That was like, and it had like a flight simulator. But so as we went along, like our first PC, he actually built us. And then the first one I took to college in the late 90s, he built me. And those were like honking. You had to like haul those around. They weighed about 800 pounds. But we were able to like early, so it was like 94, 95. But again, it was a free disc that we signed up with. And because my dad was like, and we couldn't really afford it, we had the one phone line. So you had to fight for the phone line. And they're always like, get off the internet.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
You guys, seriously, it is so cool that we can even do this today. You have no idea.
Right.
Like, I remember this. Bob and I were just talking about this. I know the sound of a fax machine and a dial-up modem.
Yeah. Yes. I think we said we had one family computer in our house in the early, us too. Yep,
us too. It was the fight for the computer.
Yep.
And my dad usually won because he's like, I bought it. It's like, all right.
Yeah, playing that
well,
one.
he pays the phone bills is really what it was.
Right, exactly.
It's like, you have a job? Do you want a phone bill? I'm like, oh man, are we doing this again?
Right. So perhaps we will have Mrs. Luthez in the
That would be super duper cool. I'm a big fan. I mean, that's who my grandpa used to talk about, like way back when he used to talk about wrestling. He used to talk about Luthez and how much so it's someone I was familiar with.
Right.
Even before I realized I was a wrestling fan.
You don't hear that name and think,
I know.
Talk to them on the internet.
That you think that someone Tony's age would have been bros with him online.
Right. Because there's an age gap, clearly.
A big one.
And so that's so funny that, oh my God. Crush said, I remember the days I used to have to post my messages physically to a message board using my typewriter like Angela Lansbury.
I'm both familiar with typewriters and word processors.
And Angela Lansbury.
And, well, certainly because Murder, She Wrote was supposed to be set in Maine, where I'm originally from.
Right. I had forgot, yes. Sometimes Nikki and I watch Murder, She Wrote. Nikki is actually... We found, so this place that we go has a used bookstore, and when you purchase from the other side of the store, they sell stuff that Nikki can eat sometimes.
Oh, nice.
So it's a place that we go to. It's local, but with any purchase, you can get a free book that's like on this book. So it's just a rolling bookshelf with random books. And Nikki found a Murder, She Wrote Halloween themed book, and she's currently reading it. And
excellent.
It's written like Jessica wrote it.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, we used to watch. It was Jessica Fletcher and Matlock. Those were the two that Grandma and Grandpa always had us watching. And then we would, with us and our cousins, we would sit and we would like try and guess who it was. That was the big thing, is that we were all trying to guess who did it.
Right. Yeah, Nikki
awesome.
Nikki said when she used to get mad at me because she would want to call her cousin and I wouldn't get off the computer, she would pick up the phone and knock me offline. Can confirm. Can confirm.
The struggle was real, Nikki. We all did it.
Yes.
Boom. Screw you.
And also, speaking of, I won't spend too much time on this, but the better than Johnny 5 writing is also better than AI writing.
Johnny 5 is alive, man.
Apparently, WWE has hired someone who will be doing some AI writing, and there was the terrible thing about having Bobby Lashley come back and be obsessed with Japanese culture and Japanese wrestling.
Just AI is bad, and it's bad for the environment.
Yeah, it's terrible for the environment. And Jim Valley was like, listen, wrestling, if you're not doing like competing, bad guys or people are competing for the title and bad women are being mean to the nice woman,
right?
Then like you're lazy if you can't come out. Like, just quit, because wrestling is basically the same stories.
Yeah, it's like soap operas, and if you need a robot to write that for you, you really need to check out of life.
Yes, it is stupid. So stupid.
Come on.
You should point and laugh at them. And also using AI artists to make your shirts and your videos, Atticus Cogar. I saw that yesterday on the intranets, how Atticus Cogar has had I believe it was Atticus Cogar had an AI video, and people were like, "What are you doing? Stop using AI art."
Okay, so I got to do this real quick because it's been 10 years, and my friend who performs at the Big Rat Show is the name of the show. This is my rat. This is my Remembrat. His name is Pink Eye. He sells these and makes them by hand, and these are something that he sells as part of his show. That's a live performance show, and he's the rat catcher at the fair, and he does a whole show with his rats, and it's very cute. And so, for 10 years, I've been seeing his show, and I've seen it many places and all these things, and I've never bought myself a Remembrat. And it was like, this is my year that I'm doing it, and I'm glad I did, because last weekend was excellent. All of my friends are up there. They are juggling. They are doing live performances. They are interacting with. They're doing pub crawls. They're doing singing. Hob the Troll lays his own tracks down. I've never seen someone mix kazoo like this guy. Okay, get on his level. No robot is ever going to be able to replace that. And support live creation and vendors and artists, and please, because we need those people. When we get to a point where the robots are doing everything for us, that will not be a good world to live in. No. And it won't be good for most of us. Right. That's only good for a really small group of people.
Right, exactly.
So please support live art and vendors and artisans and independent. Every time you go to an indie wrestling show like Sam is going to do this weekend, she's going to go
this weekend.
That's a real economy. Those are real people. That's the only ethical consumption here at this point. Like, go support those people. Down with the robots.
Yes.
And it's starting to F up even this tube here, because they're having AI start to run. That's a lot of what's going on in the chats. I've started to figure out from tech people, is that's why those like little things are in there. That's some AI thing that's really actually hurting a lot of people who are doing good stuff on YouTube right now. So
sounds about right. Yeah.
But anyway,
we should since we've been on for a bit.
We're gonna make it, Sam.
We did talk about Andrade, and that was one of the things we were going to talk about, because Andrade, because of this, he could not have a match today.
Correct.
that is already affected, and they can't even mention him. They're being told not to mention him. Don't do anything. Right. Michael says, needing AI to write wrestling is like needing training wheels on our tricycle. But I was told Paul Levesque is a creative genius. That's what I was told.
Yeah, so why would he need help from a robot?
Because I don't want to get into that.
We're not doing
I'm
that
about
today.
to go down another road, and let's talk about this, because
that.
this is exciting. We're going to talk about real wrestlers and real wrestling writing.
Wrestling that we
still
like.
alive and well in the AEW. Hopefully they've seen us pointing and laughing at WWE and never even consider doing that in their company.
Please
don't do that. So we kicking. So the tailgate brawl is once again happening on TV and on cable. It's happening both on HBO and on TNT because it's still technically the second hour of Collision. And Toni was very adamant about, or he would make sure to point that out, that this is different than 0 Hour because it gets to be on TV and HBO, where 0 Hour is just on YouTube and Bleacher Report. So during the hour of Collision we had this week, Eddie Kingston and Hook had to cut a live promo that they clearly were not prepared for, which was phenomenal. Made it even better. Toni clearly said, "Hey, can you go promote this match real quick, please?" And they're like, "Sure." So Eddie's like, "Let's go do that thing that we talked about when I was injured, which is joining the tag team division." Okay, so now Eddie Kingston and Hook are in the tag team division.
Yeah, great.
And they were like, "What's the name of that show?" And they were like, they both like froze. And Hook was like, Tailgate. Then they were like, "Oh, Tailgate Brawl." Then they couldn't remember which day. And at the same time, yelled Saturday. And he was like, and then Eddie was like, "Do you remember the song?" And he's like, "Yeah." And so sold.
It was really great.
I am ready for this match. I'm sold already.
I love Eddie Kingston so freaking much.
Me too.
His like, whether it's true or kayfabe or somewhere in between, I don't even care. Him being mad about having to cut promos will never, ever get old for me.
It's great. He hates them.
So good.
Which is funny because he's so good on the mic, but God, he hates cutting a promo.
But
he's like Nick
Jackson. That's
Nick
what
Jackson
makes it the
taking
best.
Promo photos.
That's what makes it even better. Is he's great on the mic, and he's like, "Oh, you're gonna make me do this again? What's the day? What's the time? I love you, Eddie."
He's like, "I just want to go fight somebody. Like, I don't have time to type it.
Thing.
I just want to go punch somebody in the face." I have no idea who's answering this. Probably somebody from Ring of Honor.
Yeah, probably.
Probably somebody from Ring of Honor is probably who we're going to get. I'm here for it. Hook and Eddie are clearly going to win. But then Nikki and I were talking about, I was like, what do you make their tag name? Because you can't, because like it's been Jungle Hook and Hookhausen. But like, do we do like King Hook? Is that our, or do we just come up with something related to New York?
Oh, there you go. Maybe you could do something like that. Like, yeah, you could call them like the Empire State or something, whatever.
Right. Crush said, "Wonder what Eddie and Hook's theme music will be. Any suggestions? Put your ideas here. Maybe it'll be a mashup of their song." I mean, you could just listen. I'm one of the few people who enjoy Hook's song. I think it works for him.
Yeah, me too. I don't know why everyone's so weird about it.
But Eddie's song is so good, and we didn't get to hear it for 400 or was it 497 days or 597 days? Way too long. So I would the more of that. But now I kind of need because like Jet, like, and that's hard because like I was trying to think of Jet Speed's music, but like Speedball has such incredible, like Ultima 84 is like one of the best wrestling themes ever. But I'm sure that Mikey Ruckus would be up to the task of cutting, or maybe they just pay and like come out to some Beastie Boys or something.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Even though they did not pay Beastie Boys to play Brass Monkeys for Speedball. That's the Brass Monkey. So there's that. But yeah, so I'm excited for this.
I don't know why Prodigy just jumped into my head, because maybe it would just be funny for some like early aughts Prodigy for them or something. It'd be hilarious. Just some like really funny, crazy like metal weird like Pantera or something. I don't know.
I'm sure Eddie Kingston would have it be like, because if you watch his Insta stories are so funny because he'll post videos and it'll be like all of this like 90s rap or early 2000s, and then it'll be like some random song from the 70s or the 80s, and I was like, he's just like me. I listen to a whole variety.
Like, and then he's over here listening to like The Rose or whatever.
Right.
Like,
it's so funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I have no idea. I'm sure it's going to be them. I don't know. Maybe this will be a match for them to put over some of the newer or the ROH talent.
Maybe they'll give them some time. Hopefully it won't be a squash, and then Eddie and Hook clearly are going to get the win.
Yeah, I mean, they're too cool right now to not.
So. Well, Eddie just came back. You can't have him losing this fast.
True story, especially on a pay-per-view. His first pay-per-view back.
Exactly.
That's actually, I just realized that as you were saying that. It's his first pay-per-view back. He probably has to win.
So we're here. We're technically, I know, I wish it was the Workhorsemen too, but apparently one of them are injured because they got pulled from the DPW ladder match. They were supposed to be in the DPW ladder match tomorrow, and they didn't say, they just said they were not cleared to compete. So I don't know which one it is. I don't know if it's a serious injury or it's like hey, we can't, we can't wrestle this week, but we'll be fine to wrestle in like 3 weeks. We'll be good. Or if this is like one of them has gotten injured where they're going to be out for a period of time. I'm hoping it's not that. I'm hoping it's just the doctor says I got to take 3 weeks off. I can't wrestle in a cage match. I mean, in a ladder match. I'm hoping. But yes. Because that was my thing too. But so this match, yay, a women's match. We have this match we've seen a variation of in the multi-women matches. And so we get Penelope and Megan versus Willow and Harley. We've also seen, I really do not want FTR in women's business. However, they put themselves in women's business when they attacked Beth Copeland. And then Willow got in Dax's face and said that women like Beth taught me not to take shit from men like you. Which led to Willow just being even more badass than she already is. And they've gotten physical. And so it's fun. And it leads to this. It looks like Willow and Harley may be the tag team in the tag team tournament when this happens, because they need to put Willow with somebody and Harley needs to be with somebody because Kris is champion, and Kris is clearly not going to be competing for a tag team title while she's champion. So it looks like it's going to be Willow and Harley might be depending on how they do today and how they mesh well in the coming weeks before whenever this, because we don't know when the tournament's starting.
Right.
It looks like that will be the team because Willow needs somebody, Harley needs somebody. They could be a lot of fun. I think Penelope and Megan are a really good tag team. I like them together. I think they play really well off of each other. They have a really good look together. So that's a lot of fun. And then, but what are your thoughts here? Who do you think takes the win?
This is a rough one because in a way, Megan being but needs it. But I think it's going to be Willow and Harley in this particular case because I think they're really over right now. I think that they're getting a lot of traction together. Like you just said, you have to be having these people on the TVs. Harley is so great. She, no matter what they've given her, she's just run with it. So she kind of needs to be out there. And Willow's got great. Obviously, she's Willow. Like she's just Willow. She's every time I've been in a building that she's come out in. It's everybody is just. We're just happy to see her. It's like it doesn't even matter. I mean, it's just if she wrestles, even better. But
right.
I think Megan Bain is strong enough and she's really helping build that team.
Yeah.
And I think she's a strong enough presence where they can take the loss, but have it not, because it's going to be a good match.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's going to be a really good match. And I was like, on the one hand, I think Megan needs to be picking up some more wins because I had kind of cooled her off a little bit, but Willow has the momentum, especially after what happened with FTR, and they got beat. Megan got the pin on Title Tuesday, or not on Title Tuesday, on this past Wednesday. She got the win. And I know that just because they got the win doesn't mean they'll lose on pay-per-view, because I know that's what the other company has trained us to believe.
Right.
But I do feel like Willow has the momentum here, and we need Harley to put the W in Wrath and get a win. So I'm gonna go with Willow and Harley here.
Yeah, agree. So all right, what's the next one? Hang on, here I go. I can click things. I'm really great at it.
That leads right into this, because I have a feeling this is exactly how this is going to play out. Is they're going to do the women's match and go right into the men's match. And so you've got FTR with Big Stoke against Jet Speed. Jet Speed, who are what did they? I'm trying to remember what they called. Mark Briscoe called them the other day.
Can't remember.
It was so funny, and he was talking about how they are like basically their conglomeration by association is basically what he was getting at.
Cool.
He said they were civilians, something civilians. I can't remember now. I'm blanking on it, but it was really, really funny. But yes, and so Jet Speed, another team that I love very much because I love them both individually before they came into the company. I love them as a tag team, and I love them with Willow. I love everything about them.
Yes.
I think they're phenomenal. Most of you know my stance on the other team. I hate them with a passion for many reasons. But I don't know. And I think, do you think that, so if Willow and Harley get the win, do you think FTR, that means that FTR gets the win, or do you think the whole like group gets the win today?
I hope the whole group gets the win.
Yeah.
I think it's time to like FTR, we get it. Enough. It's time to get some new people like Jet Speed. They like what they're doing. They're good. They're really it needs to be Jet Speed.
Yeah.
I think.
I want it to be Jet Speed.
I want it to be too, and I kind of feel like I am mostly voting with my like heart and not my brains, but I really think that for just we need to start elevating the new people.
Right, and I was going to say, and we already had Kevin Knight beat Dax, so it would make sense to have Jet Speed get a win over FTR. And like you said, if we're going to start pushing these younger teams, they're going to have to get wins, because FTR did say after this match, they were going to shift their focus to the tag titles. So they're looking past Jet Speed, which I think is dumb. And so I think that's another thing is, so Jet Speed, I think that Jet Speed need that. That's another reason they need this one. I think FTR is overlooking them because they want Brodito and or Takeshita and Okada, and Jet Speed is like, no.
That's a better story anyway.
Yeah. So I'm gonna, maybe I am going with my heart, but I'm gonna go with Jet Speed here.
Yeah, I'm Jet Speed. I'm all Jet Speed in this one. That's what I'm rooting for. That's
Yes. Crash asks if Edge has some skin in this. I don't know how long he's supposed to be away, but he's filming, right? Oh, yes. They're right here. Literally the next comment. He's filming. He's away filming Percy Jackson.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, wonderful
this
viewers.
is also a good point. Jet Speed needs the win because they lost the mojo coming out of the Hurt Syndicate feud. Yes, I would agree with that.
Super duper great point.
And they're finally getting back on that path. And so I think a win over FTR would be huge, especially because they're former tag team champions and they'll let you know. That was their whole speech on the other night was how great they are and how many titles they've won.
We know. Top guys out. So, I mean, they were great in whatever, but it's played out. It's over now. Like, time to move on to the next guy.
Please move on. And so we have Death Riders are taking on the Conglomeration and Roddy Strong. The original graphic just had the Conglomeration, and a fan pointed out, and they were like, they didn't tag Roddy, but Roddy saw it, and he was like, he tweeted Kyle to tell the AEW graphics department to fix it because he is not in the Conglomeration, and they fixed it, and here we go. It's the Conglomeration and Roderick Strong. He still does not want to be.
And we got the proper graphic on our slide
so we
as
put
well.
the proper.
Sam actually was really hilarious.
Roddy wrestle tomorrow at DPW. I don't want him to somehow find out that we use the old graphic and come for me tomorrow.
It was very funny when you sent it to me, and it was funny because then I actually double checked when I was making that. I made sure that I got the right graphic because I thought it would be funny if I still
somebody tell Roddy Strong we put the right graphic up and not to to come find me at DPW tomorrow.
We did our due diligence, Rod. We were there.
We got you, man. And Roddy, by the way, Roddy versus Claudio was great the other night.
Oh, nice.
So good. But yeah, so this will be a fun one with these four because we have Big Tom, we have Orange Cassidy, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roddy against Claudio, Yuta, Pac, and Daniel Garcia. So I think this match will be a ton of fun. I like everybody involved. Collins and I talked about this last week that we liked the Death Riders before. Like, we were not one of the people who were super down on them, but I This version of Death Riders,
yeah, I like this a lot better.
I love this version of Death Riders. They're a ton of fun.
I think this is them tamping it down after he lost the title, but still staying in the background and being shitbags in like the best possible way. It's kind of awesome.
Cutting promos and Daniel Garcia trying his best not to laugh in the background, but it doesn't work because he breaks every time because of Pac.
Pac in a shirt with like groomed hair and beard is still blowing my mind.
I don't know what you have done with Pac and who this is, or Pac and who this is.
It's so funny to me. Whatever they want to call it.
When he's coming out, I was like, this man is in a singlet.
He's kind of looking like he's trying to take on the same shitbag, like like neck beard weirdness that Wheeler's doing, and it's working in the weirdest way.
It does work, but see, I prefer long hair, so I love long hair.
Of course, yeah. I can't get used to him like that.
And I enjoy that, and I like when he is I enjoy long hair Wheeler Yuta. I think it's great. But yeah, this match is going to be a lot of fun, and I love the conglomeration, and Roddy. And so the Death Riders are really hard to stop right now. So even though it's hard to have Orange Cassidy losing this soon, I think that unless Daniel Garcia is getting pinned, I think maybe, but I think this is going to continue a feud between all of them. Yeah. And so I feel like I'm going to go with Death Riders because they're not losing matches, and B, I think this is going to be a continuation of a feud with all of these four. We're going to get some individual stuff. We're going to get tag matches out of this. I feel so. I'm going to go with Death Riders here.
Well, and I think Orange Cassidy and Pac are going to have some more showdowns specifically because they had that great match the first time where Pac didn't know what to expect and then realized that this guy was an awesome wrestler.
Well, and then their match that they had just 2 weeks ago in Daly's place was phenomenal.
It was awesome. It was a replay. Well, when they came back, I was like, oh yay, they're redoing their match because and now this time Pac is he's into it, like he knows what to expect. I actually, the more you're talking about it, I actually think you're right. I think they have to. But I definitely think we get hordes of Death Rider shenanigans it's not going to be yay. It's going to be a Death Riders win, not a clean win.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's get next thing. Bloop. I love this picture.
Okay. If you're joining us late, we did talk a bit about Mercedes Moné in the beginning.
I just tossed it in here.
So how this match came about, if you missed it and are joining us late and didn't hear anything that went on, Mercedes retained her title. She defended the CMLL title against Persephone in a phenomenal match last night. Afterwards, she issued an open challenge to another champion today. And then so Olympia came out there. Olympia is not a champion. She doesn't get a shot at this title. They're going to run that back they're going to do that some point later in the US though, is what she said. She said, I'm not wrestling you here in Mexico. You're coming to the greatest country on earth. You're coming to America and wrestling there. That's what she told her. As she's dressed like Selena.
Hey, right on.
But shout out to, again, for Mercedes paying homage to the iconic Selena.
Yeah.
Who is a true icon. When icon gets thrown around a lot, but Selena truly is one. So I love that Mercedes recognizes that, and she herself is the icon as well. So there have been a couple of theories about who could be answering her tonight. Dakota Kai is not going to be there because, as far as I know, Dakota Kai does not have a championship. Unless there's some title I don't know about. So not Dakota Kai. They made it, and so it will be the other champion's title will be on the line, which means that Mercedes could walk into this match with 10, walk out with 11.
Yeah.
So, and if I'm not mistaken, the Jody Threat match is tomorrow night where she's competing for Jody Threat's title. So, also interesting. So, something to keep in mind that Mercedes could end this title, could end up with 12 titles into this. So people on the internet have pointed out that Shuri was supposed to be in Japan and suddenly was not. Shuri just beat Sari on Monday for the IWGP Women's Championship. in a really, really great match. If you have not, if those of you who did not get to see King of Pro Wrestling, that match was the opener. They opened the show with that and closed with Takeshita versus the SJ, which was very smart. The women killed it. They looked great. So some people are wondering if Shuri is coming to put her title on the line, which is kind of interesting because you would almost think that they would have just had Sari win on Monday and have her defeat Sari, but she definitely could defeat Shuri. The other theory is Athena, because Athena took 6 weeks off. Her 6 weeks are up. They've been up for like a week or so, or a couple of weeks, I believe. If her last match was obviously at Death Before Dishonor, so if we're starting the 6 weeks like right after that, like her 6 weeks are up. So it very well could be Athena. I personally hope it's not Athena. I don't want Athena dropping. If you've got her this close to her 3-year anniversary, I would let her have her 3 years. Let her make it to 3 years. Which would be, but I also I also really want to see Athena versus Mercedes again. So like, I can't be super mad at it, but I feel like whoever she's wrestling is Mercedes. Mercedes is winning. I feel she's not dropping a title, because she would drop a title, and I don't think that's happening yet.
It's an open, because it's for the TBS championship. So
and the championship of the other person, but yes, okay. The TBS champion. So it's both. So no, it won't. It won't be Sheeta.
She's not going to start losing yet.
No.
We need it to be a champion. Maybe it's somebody from somewhere that we just don't know yet.
Right. And that's what I'm trying to think. Yeah. I mean, perhaps it's another CMLL champion. It could be, it could potentially be that. Maybe it's somebody from a company in Canada. Yep. It can't be. Red Velvet doesn't have. I don't know that it would be Red Velvet. Oh, he's saying, I'm sorry. I didn't see your first comment. He said, as long as it's not Mina or Red Velvet. I don't think it's that. I don't think it's either one of them. If it's an ROH champion, I think it's Athena. But yeah, I don't want them to do me. They don't need to do another match with Mina. Wow, with the interim title, I don't want to do that. But yeah, I mean, maybe it's a British champion. Oh god, yeah, India Sue was so good, and I think I meant to go back. Michael corrected himself when we talked about this earlier, because I also Stanley did have a good match, but it was India Sue versus Scotty that had a really great match before Persephone and Mercedes, and
nice,
really, really good. India Sue is fantastic. I'd love to see her get some stuff, get some more matches. See, Robert is one of those guys. We talked about this in the beginning, that some of you who don't think the Owen title it is defended in the Owen Cup, because should she win next year's Owen Cup, guess who still has the title? So technically she does defend it. But even if not, if you're one of those people who don't think that counts, if she wins tonight and she beats Jody Threat, then she will still have surpassed Ultimo Dragon. And if I'm not mistaken, I'll have to go back, because don't quote me on it, but I believe when I was reading something a few weeks ago about Ultimo Dragon, some of the titles that he had when he had his 10 were kind of similar, where they were titles that were not defended as well. But I could be wrong on it, so don't quote me on that. But I believe that's what I read. But I don't see that happening, Lauren. I don't see her dropping any titles yet until she breaks, because she's tied with Ultimo Dragon. She's got to have 11 to beat him, or 12 if you're one of the people who doesn't count the Owen Cup. Then well, that's fair. Lauren says it's a belt. She calls herself 10 belts Monet, not 10 titles. That's right. Yes, thank you, Maria. It is Ultimo Monet. I do have to get it right. Thank you for correcting me. But regardless, I think whoever answers this challenge, Mercedes is winning.
I agree with that. I think that it's not time for them to pull the trigger on.
Not with the story they're telling, because when she does,
it's going to be huge.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be awesome. People will fully understand.
I also don't think she's dropping title, because we were just talking about she's going to Rome next month to defend one of those titles. I don't think she's going into that with one less belt either. Not yet, anyway.
And like you said, and Bob and I were talking about this earlier, it's like, because an independent wrestling company doesn't want a huge star walking around with their freaking belt on television twice a week.
Right. Like we already said with Body Slam. They were like, look at our title made it onto TV. Look how cool
why would I want my freaking indie thing that no one knows anything about? Why would I want a huge rock star carrying my belt around?
Thank you.
Why would Mercedes do this to me?
Right. Oh, wait, not that. So it moved. Lauren says she defends the Bestia women's title next month in Rome. Thank you. I knew it was something in Rome. Michael
I feel like there was someone out there with a belt that said something, and I just don't remember where they were from. I thought there was somebody out there somewhere. I know the Maple Leaf. Doesn't Maple Leaf Pro has a belt?
Women's belt is their champion, so she could potentially
So and that wouldn't hurt Scott D'Amore's situation.
No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure that Giselle is still the champion. She was the inaugural one. I believe she's still the current champion. So yeah, there's that again, and Michael brings up this point that it would be funny if it were Athena and Athena were to beat Mercedes and then Mercedes beats Jody and then Jody challenges Athena to bring it full circle because 3 years ago, it just happened this week, 3 years ago this week as the anniversary of Jody versus Athena, which started Athena down this, kicked it into high gear of her down this path.
That's interesting.
Jody Threat is wrestling Mercedes for her title, which Mercedes I think is taking that title. So there's a lot of fun stuff. I'm here for Mercedes winning as many titles as she wants, as many titles as she books herself to win.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But I am this match is exciting though. Tekla versus Jamie Hayter in a non-title match. We talked about this last week, how rare this is. The last time it happened in a stipulation match was last year in the Chicago Street Fight with Kris versus Willow.
Oh, yeah.
But prior to that, I believe it was 2022 was the last time there was a women's pay-per-view match that had nothing to do with the title. So it's been few and far between. And again, as we mentioned earlier in this show, this is the first time they've had 3 women's matches on an AEW pay-per-view, 4 if you count the pre-show as well. So this is exciting times. This match is going to be a ton of fun. I really like this feud with Tekla and Jamie. What are your thoughts here? Who do you think takes this one?
Ooh, this one's actually hard. I want Jamie to win. I think Jamie will win. Even though Tekla might need the win, I think it's going to be Jamie.
I think this could go either way. But I think because Tekla has never been pinned in AEW, Tekla could take it home. But if anybody can pin Tekla, it's Jamie. Which makes it, and I definitely think that after this match, Tekla and the rest of Triangle of Madness finally accept Jamie has been trying to get them to do Blood and Guts. They have not responded. Aminata and her went and Aminata was in a dress and went up and beat up Triangle of Madness the other day.
Nice.
So, and perhaps you have, I'm sure Queen Aminata is probably going to be out there or she'll come out there and I'm sure Triangle of Madness are going to get involved and that's how we're going to get finally they're going to answer and say, yes, we'll meet you at Blood and Guts. And somebody said that they should be, Robert says that Tekla and Jamie will be the captains. I think you're correct about that.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yes. I do think that.
Jamie pinning her and being the one to do it. First of all, it should be someone important like Jamie, but Jamie doing it would actually piss her off enough potentially to get her to do Blood and Guts.
Right.
So
there's certainly that there. And then Maria says that Jamie could win and then she could go after the world championship from Stat, which is, definitely.
Well, yeah,
there's a lot of good stuff that can happen here. But I will, even though I think Jamie, it makes sense with Jamie, I guess I will keep my pick as Tekla just because. Because it clearly.
Well, sometimes, for us. I think this is a good, no matter what, this is a great match.
And it's going to lead to Blood and Guts, which is still filling out. And so it's going to be a fun one. I'm looking forward to this one.
Very cool. Here we go. The demand.
Speaking of Bobby Lashley. So we're going to have so now this match is a Tornado Trios match with the Demand, which I'm not a fan of that name.
Sure.
But
why not?
The Demand versus the Hurt Syndicate. This has been a feud that's been a lot of fun. We just had, so at the last pay-per-view, we had the Demand getting the win over Hurt Syndicate because MVP took the pin. MVP felt bad about it, was like, I shouldn't, I let my people down, I let the fans down. Let's have a street fight. Then they had an incredible street fight that I had to cover and was mad about because there was so much happening. It was like not covering it, a blast. Covering it, a pain in my ass. So now we get a Tornadoes Trios match between them, featuring, yes, AI, Japanese Bobby Lashley. Somebody joked that Bobby Lashley, I saw somebody say that if he doesn't come out, they didn't say the pay-per-view, but if he doesn't come out next week in a kimono, then Tony Khan is a coward. Cedric Alexander will not be appearing tonight. I hate to burst your bubble because he will be at Ashe tonight.
Sam knows where he'll be because she'll be where he's at.
Khan will not be at Ashe tonight because Khan is wrestling in St. Louis. And so Khan will not be defending his title. He will not be defending his Pan-African World Diaspora title because he's busy with AEW. But Cedric Alexander, unless something has happened that I have not heard about of him getting pulled, he will be wrestling LeBron Cozone, who I just saw. The two of them wrestled at DPW on Nikki's birthday, and it was a banger. So I expect nothing less from tonight as well. So what are your thoughts here? Who do you think takes the win?
I think it's probably going to be Hurt Syndicate because I think that they're still kind of like, they hurt people and people like to chant it and they don't like to take pins. And it just seems pretty obvious it's going to be.
Yeah, I think Hurt Syndicate takes the win because they lost at the last pay-per-view and they're not going to lose 2 pay-per-view matches in a row.
They're definitely
not. This match is going to be fun. Like that street fight was a blast. So I think this could be a ton of fun.
Well, and the other guys have something to prove, so they're not going to let them just like slack off. They're going to actually make them work for it because, how often do they get a shot on a pay-per-view?
Yeah, right.
So, yeah, but I mean, I still think it's going to be Hurt Syndicate just because of it's Hurt Syndicate, and you just said it. Yeah. 2 pay-per-views in a row, nuh-uh.
Speaking of tag matches, we have a $500,000 match because the Young Bucks were begging Tony Khan a couple of weeks ago because they lost all their money. They're broke again. They begged him for one of the money matches, and so they got one. But now they have to wrestle their good former friends, Jurassic Express. Jack Perry made a whole knife and sent to them and said, "Use this the next time you're going to stab me in the back." They're doing this kind of weird thing where they're not weird. I don't want to say weird. They're doing this thing where they're not. Jack has kind of said that they're not really good guys. They're not really bad guys. They're just kind of playing with things and seeing how it turns out. So who do you think wins this one?
I think Jurassic Express, just because the Bucks are in their slump, and I think them being broke is a better story than Matt losing all their money at slots again.
Yeah.
And which is funny because that goes like that joke is so old. That's like an old BTE gimmick that's been going on forever.
This match is for BTE fans and people who have been AEW fans since this company was announced. And
I just think that they've rage out. I think that where they are because they're trying to like build themselves back up and all the things that they're doing, and the fact that they like lost them. I think that I'm gonna give it to Jurassic Express on this one. Maybe Kenny gets involved a little, maybe not. Who knows? Because they have that little confrontation there.
Well, and Kenny, in the match the other night, Jack pushed Kenny out of the way so that he wouldn't take whatever. I don't think it was the spear. I can't remember what it was, but Jack pushed Kenny out of the way. The Bucks attacked them after the match. Kenny got in the ring and kind of ran them off. So we certainly could see Kenny, especially because Kenny was supposed to have a match, and then that's not happening because Kota Ibushi got injured and is going to be out for at least 2 years is what he said. It'll be 2 years. 2 years before he can get back into a ring is what he has said. He has said that he does not want to go out like that. Tony Khan was very on the call. He was asked about Kota, and he said at least 4 times how sad he was for Ibushi.
Yeah, it sucks.
He said that he said the day of the show, Ibushi and Kenny had been in his office. They had a really good day and had had a good time together, and then this happened. And he said it just devastated him. He's devastated for Ibushi's fans, for Ibushi himself. He had earmarked, or was his word, he had earmarked a big rest of 2025 for Kota. Kota was heavily involved in plans for the rest of the year. He was supposed to wrestle today. So that, this has been, that is, Tony seems genuinely, not because of like it's messing up his plans, but because he has a lot of respect for Kota, which he kept, he's said that several times. He has a lot of respect for Kota Ibushi. He really loves him as a wrestler. He did go visit him in the hospital after the Jags game on Sunday. He sent him, Kota posted where he had sent him flowers 2 days before, and if the translation is correct, it made him cry. That it was so nice that his boss did that for him. And then Tony went to visit him Sunday. I don't know how long. That was one of the things I was wondering, is how long he'll have to be in the U.S. while he recovers, or if he'll get to go home and do any of his recovery. But I'm sure he's going to be here for Kota. Will probably be in the U.S. And Tony pointed out that Kota had just got his visa renewed. Just the timing is awful. But yeah, so I could definitely see Kenny getting involved here and costing the Bucks, or maybe, he could potentially accidentally cost Jurassic Express.
He could.
Certainly that possibility where he doesn't mean to, and then him and Jack still have the
the beef,
the tension. But I'm gonna go with Jurassic Express here as well.
Yeah, me too. I think the Bucks still building up and being broke because they're silly is a better.
Those Bucks are fun.
Yeah, broke Bucks are fun because they really, they burned all their bridges, so them having to deal with that is just like kind of fun, and they're really leaning into it because they're awesome.
They are.
Here we go.
All right, this match should be tons of fun. So Brodito and Takeshita and Okada had a match on Title Tuesday. It was a double eliminator match where the winner would get a shot at the title. So had Brodito won, whoever got the pin would have faced Okada for his title. But since Okada and Takeshita got the win, they are getting the tag title shots today. Just 6 days after Takeshita had a banger of a match against Zack Sabre Jr. for the 3rd time this year, and he beat him to become the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. He is going to be in Japan a lot. He's already been announced for several DDT shows for next month. I believe he will be on the November 2nd New Japan show. I believe that's where they're probably going to do, I don't know if you've heard who challenged him, but that match is likely happening because he said he did not want to go into WrestleDream without having any wins. Like, he wants to come wrestle in Japan prior to, not WrestleDream, I'm sorry, Wrestle Kingdom. So Takeshita is very busy, but he's gonna have this match with Okada. He and Okada have a ton of tension between them. There's already been planting the seeds of somebody turning on the other one. We had the birthday video from Don Callis for Don Callis where Takeshita was talking and Okada accidentally turned the TV off as he was talking. He said, "Oh, I'm sorry."
Oops.
Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. And then you have Bandito, who is wrestling with an arm that's like taped on at this point because he injured it at 2 weeks ago in Mexico against Hechicero. Said he wanted to keep going. So this man is coming in with basically one arm.
Nice.
So what are your thoughts on this one, and who do you think is going to take it?
I think this match is gonna freaking rock. Yeah. I think that Okada shows out like Okada does. Takeshita is on a roll. He's like probably one of the best top wrestlers in the world right now. And then I just love Brodito, and they've been just putting on such killer matches.
Yeah.
I just don't see. I think the real winner here is me and us. Yes. I do think they retain, because of all of the other reasons that we just went through, especially with the IWGP thing being a thing.
Yes.
But I don't even think that's the point, because it's just so, this is going to be good. This is for really
I'm really
good
looking
wrestlers.
forward to this one. I like the tension between them. And then there's 98 members of Don Callis family that could potentially get involved.
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, Crash points out, I did not realize this. Brody King is going to be heading to DDT as well in a couple of weeks in Japan. Ooh, that'll be interesting. Yes, the main event of the KOPW gave me the Wrestling Phil's walk around commentary, and Red Shoes reactions made it even better. Yes, they did. Oh, yes. So Nikki wanted me to remind. So Don Callis likes to tweet a lot. He likes to tweet a lot.
He is, he often is funny, and also sometimes isn't.
Yes, and I don't follow him, but his tweets pop up for me all the time. But obviously, so Monday was his birthday. For whatever reason, they said his birthday was today. His birthday was Monday because he aired the video on Monday, and everybody was like, "Oh my!" Well, and AEW posted a tweet wishing him a happy birthday, and everybody's like, "Oh, he's going to be even more insufferable because Takeshita won the title on his birthday." So, Don tweeted this probably AI bullshit. So we hate that. Not surprising that Don Callis would post AI photography or photos. He even knows what it was. But anyway, Don Callis posts a picture of him and a bird. Says Echecero gave him this bird as a birthday gift and was talking about how incredible it was. Somebody said, "What is the bird's name?" And he said, "The bird's name is, this big, beautiful bird's name is Coda because it has delicate legs."
Oh, Don Callis.
I legitimately cackled at that tweet. I was
don't ever change Don Callis.
I was like, I don't it doesn't quite I don't think anything will top. I can smell his diverticulitis from here. I don't think anything will top that. But this is probably a top 5 tweet. Also, though,
there was the 10,000 years of Kenny Omega's reign. That was a pretty solid one.
And then also the one that popped me the other night was when he said it wasn't a dingo that ate your baby, it was Mark Davis. Which I don't know how Mark Davis hears that and comes out and is super serious and not cracking up and just oh my God. Maybe he told him beforehand, "Hey, I'm going to say this. So react to it now."
I doubt it.
Don't react. Or maybe he just said it off the top of his head and Davis is just laser focused. I'm getting ready to wrestle against Kenny Omega. I can't pay attention to Don Callis. Maybe he didn't even hear him, but oh my God. That made
Don
me
Callis
laugh.
is a master at what he does.
Oh, my bad. Crash corrected me. It is not Brody King. He meant Takeshita. Which I knew Takeshita was coming, but I read that as my bad. I thought you meant Brody King.
Gotcha.
Maria asks a very good question. Who takes the pin? Okada or Takeshita?
Ooh. Shoot. It's probably got to be Okada.
Okada has not, if I'm not mistaken, maybe he has in mixed match, when they've done multi-man matches, but in singles competition, he's not been pinned in AEW, I don't believe, because of the title. Or maybe at least since he's had the title. But he's had the title for a very long time.
Yeah, because I know that when he tapped to Danielson in that Forbidden Door a few years ago, it was the first time he had tapped in 10 years.
Right, that's the first time. Yeah, so and then I guess since he's been champion, he obviously hasn't tapped. I think Okada has to. You can't have the IWGP.
You can't have the newly crowned. Yeah, you can't have the newly crowned IWGP heavyweight champion taking I don't think New Japan would let Takeshita do this match if that were gonna happen. I mean, I can see him taking the loss, but the pin, probably not.
No, I agree. I think Brodito was retaining because I don't think you put the tag team titles on. I mean, it would certainly make things a lot more interesting with Takeshita and Okada and the stuff. But if Takeshita is going to be spending more time between DDT and New Japan, he's not going to be on TV defending your belt, which I guess is fine because but I don't know that he would take the title with him to I don't know that he's carrying around AEW tag title or one half of the AEW tag titles maybe. But also Tony Khan loves him some Bandito.
Oh yeah. Well, and they're really, I mean, they're super over right now. Like they have those belts and they rightly should have them. That is actually true.
And I feel like, I make beats says that Brodito retains due to a fumble from Takeshita or Okada to start their feud. Like, I think whatever happens here is definitely going to add to it. There's going to be some miscommunication. They already don't get along. They each think they're better than the other. Okada's been wrestling for a million years. He doesn't think he needs to listen to somebody like
Takeshita. And that used to be his belt, like, for real.
But yeah, I feel like, okay. All right, Michael, that's a fair point. He says Takeshita takes the pin because Okada is his white well, and he needs to be flawless for Takeshita's victory.
Interesting.
That's okay. That's a very fair point. I'll take a 2-man power trip, Okada and Takeshita.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yes. Oh my gosh, no. 2 great wrestlers wrestling and feuding. No.
Right.
All right. What do we got?
All right. So we have Kyle Fletcher defending his AEW TNT championship. This will be the 5th time that he has wrestled Mark Briscoe. If I'm not mistaken, they are both 2-2. I believe is what I heard them say the other night. I could be wrong, but I believe it. They're 2-2. This is the rubber match between them. What are your thoughts on this one?
It's got to be Kyle. I mean, it's too soon for him to drop it.
Kyle's having banger matches. And I don't think there's any way I think this match is going to be great.
I think this is just meant to be another awesome match to keep elevating him with that, because he needs to have this championship for a minute to keep building him up to potentially be in the world title picture.
He and Briscoe have really great chemistry, with I think is kind of what surprised a lot of people, which is why we're getting a 5th match between the two of them. But it's not anything that's old, or they're a lot of fun together.
Oh no, it's great.
I mean, and Kyle Fletcher just wrestled a 38-minute match against Hangman Page at the last pay-per-view. And so, I think, do you think MJF gets involved?
Gosh, I hope not. I guess it's possible.
Yeah, I don't know how long he's supposed to be. He's gone film. They wrote him out so that he could go film whatever he's filming. So I don't know how long he's supposed to be out. And it's not like he can't come do this and go back and film, because he was doing that with Happy Gilmore. As far as I know, he hasn't. I don't believe he's taken his honeymoon yet either. I think they were waiting until after. But I think it's certainly possible if they're bringing MJF back to TV. I mean, actually, I was gonna say but maybe even not. He hates Mark Briscoe that much that he could just fly in, cost Briscoe the match, and fly back and go finish filming.
Fair enough.
So, but I still say Fletcher gets the win here, regardless of MJF getting involved or not.
Yeah,
I'd like a clean win, but also there's the Don Callis family, so
fair. I mean, there might be some shenanigans. I don't necessarily think that they would do the MJF spot here, especially with so much going on in the actual, that I Quit match alone is going to have to take up a pretty big chunk.
That's fair. That's a good point.
So you don't want to overdo the extra interference and stuff, because there's going to be ones that are very specifically where it's you can pretty much predict that there's going to be interference on that. But that I Quit match is going to take up a good chunk of time.
Right.
And so many of these other matches need to
especially
breathe.
Especially because we do have 3 women's matches. So I think we're at 9 matches total on the main card. But we are missing the Ibushi match. And so, I think even if they had the Ibushi match, I Quit would have gotten time, but maybe it gets more time. Or like you said, maybe some of these other matches get more time because
they're kind of important.
All those women's matches better get 15 minutes. I don't care that Tekla and Jamie is not for a title. They better all.
No, but it's for storyline, and they really need to keep building that. I feel like they need to kind of lean into. They better give them 20.
If they have to cut time off of this match to make sure Jamie and Tekla get 15 minutes, then do it.
Yeah, I think they should get 20. I really do. But man, I don't know. Maybe that's me. I just feel like that one, because it's a storytelling match, that it should get a little bit time to really actually do its job.
Yeah,
since it's not a title match, especially.
Right. Speaking of which, the I Quit match. At first, when they did the thing, so Darby was I guess arrested for fighting John Moxley at New York Comic Con because he wasn't supposed to be there, which Tony Khan said that Warner Brothers and DC Comics loved that. They thought it was great that they had that whole thing play out with them involving Comic-Con. And he was like, obviously if this was happening in a job that was not wrestling, people would probably be fired. But because this is wrestling, this is, what they do. And DC and Warner Brothers loved it. Probably going to be seeing more things like that. So initially, when they were doing the thing where John Moxley went to visit Darby, I was like, oh, this is kind of cheesy. What are we doing here? But then it just, as it went on, the better it got. And it was just the promos from both of them explaining this, and like Darby, and Tony touched on this during the call, that, Darby and John Moxley have kind of all their paths have always crossed, or they've always been kind of parallel because they've always been on the same side. Like they're always been pro AEW. And then John Moxley decided that he wanted to put a bag over Danielson's head. And Darby was like, that's a line too far. Even I can't condone that. Absolutely not. I don't like you anymore. I hate you. And he even said, why would I trust you after what you did to Danielson? Why would I be on your side? Then Darby also says, there's not a day that doesn't go by that he doesn't think of joining the Death Riders, which is crazy to hear him say that. But it makes this feud even crazier.
Intrigue.
Yes. But Nikki and I have talked about this several times. Like, how do you, like, John Moxley does not quit ever. No. Like, you cannot get that man to quit. But Darby is also someone who will not easily say, I quit. So who do you get to say, I quit? Or what if this match were to end in a time limit draw or something like that?
Can they
do a time? This has.
I don't think you do a time limit draw, but maybe both.
It's I quit match, so it's that.
But maybe both of them become so incapacitated that they have to call them both out because they're both.
Because you're right. Because I guess there's not technically a time limit because it's I quit and it just takes as long as it takes.
But if they're both dead, I mean,
right. If neither one can say I quit, then eventually the ref is going to have to. Tony Khan is going to have to quit for
nobody
them.
won, and that kind of adds to. I mean, it wouldn't be the worst idea in this particular case, only because of how these two have interacted for such a long time.
Right, and that's what I was going to say. Would the fans
assured mutual destruction happening here?
If this doesn't have an ending, though, like if this ends if there is no ending, well,
I don't think that
the ref will quit.
Maybe the ref will quit.
They might.
I'm done. Yeah.
So who do you think gets this one?
I am going to take Darby. It's a big thing for him. I think that the younger guy going over is a big thing with Mox. I think they do actually probably have a legit behind the scenes because they both know that they are what they are because of where they are.
Yeah, this is one I've gone back and forth with.
I really think that I'm gonna take Darby on this one. I'm gonna take Darby.
I think the reason, if assuming there's a winner,
right,
and they both don't die, or the ref just pieces out and is like, I can't do this anymore. Just fight forever, literally. I don't care anymore.
It's still going on. It ends. The pay-per-view ends, and it's still going on during Dynamite and Collision next week.
And then you hear their music play.
Right.
I feel like because John Moxley won the coffin match, which is a Darby Allin match, I feel like Darby has to win this one because he lost that one. But I don't know what you do to make John Moxley quit, because I don't think Darby is the type of person where he would do something to say he's going to potentially cause harm to Renee and he's like, oh, I quit, because people will do things like that. I don't think Darby is crazy and will do a lot of things, but I don't think that's something John Moxley would do.
Right.
He would take a person Darby loves and hard say that and have Marina
threaten to beat the shit out of him.
Right, exactly. I don't think Darby is that type of sadistic. Yeah. He's a different kind. So I don't know how you make Jon Moxley quit, which is why I think I've had a hard time figuring this out, because I was like, I don't know how you make Jon Moxley say he quits, because that is a man who does not quit ever. But because Darby lost the casket match or a coffin match, I feel like he kind of has to take this one. However, if this were to end in not a draw, but if this were to, well, I guess it would still technically be a draw if neither one says I quit and they just beat the hell out of each other and they're so incapacitated. I think it would work here. I wouldn't hate it. But then I Make Beats makes a good point. Could we see Danielson get involved here?
Possible. They have been mentioning his name quite a bit.
And he has talked about, like, he knows
up the incidents with
Darby.
him.
He tried to help Darby win the coffin match. He gave him the bag that had the plastic bag in it. And then, of course, Pac used it against him. So you could see that happen, potentially. Yeah, see, Maria says that the Death Riders could attack Brian and threaten to set him on fire and force Darby to quit. See, I feel like if one of them quits, it's going to be not because of what's happening in the ring, like from the match itself. Like, I don't think Darby is going to beat Jon Moxley to the point where Jon Moxley quits. And I don't know that Jon Moxley beats Darby to the point he quits. I feel like
there's some factor, some obstacle, something of value to one or the other that needs to be relinquished.
Yeah. I feel like this is going to be a really, I think this match also, like, I don't know where you put this on the card, because
no idea.
People are going to be exhausted.
Yes.
And whatever follows that better not be a women's match. You better not put a women's match after this.
All right, let's go to the next one here. Here we go.
Okay, before we get into this, I mean, we'll leave it, but Crash makes an interesting point. Darby has the psychotic side. Mox is just calculated. He bets on the calculated guy quitting. I could see that. Oh, wow. God, could you imagine if they open the show with this and the entire pay-per-view has to follow that? Still better not be a women's match.
Holy cow.
Yeah, but can you imagine opening with that?
I don't know, man.
I don't know. They might do, well, you could open with it and then do the Bucks second, because the Bucks tend to go on, they like going on early. So you could, you could have the Bucks follow that up, but yeah. Oh, and that would be interesting, because then you have Jack Perry in that match, and Jack Perry is the pillar, and have him follow Darby. That could be interesting. And then we have for the first time ever, which Tony Khan says was by design. He kept them apart for a reason. He felt this would be a really big match, and when this match happened, it should be for a big reason on a big show. So he purposely kept them apart from singles action, which I think was smart. So Kris Statlander will defend the AEW Women's World Championship against Timeless Toni Storm. What do you think about this one?
I think it's gonna be freaking awesome. I'm wearing the husband's stat shirt right now. I think Stat Daddy is winning this match. I think she's keeping that belt for a little bit. I think it's awesome. She's really finding a groove right now, but it is gonna be a banger.
Yeah,
because
Michael said this was gonna be his match of the night. Yeah,
this could be the sleeper. This could be the show stealer right here. That has real possibility. These two are awesome right now, and one-on-one time.
Seems like the chat is in agreement. I also am in agreement. Stat has to definitively beat Toni. The last time was kind of a quick thing with the seat belt. It was kind of unexpected, which, makes sense for the upset win. So I think Stat has to definitively beat her.
Yep.
She has to beat her clean.
Yep.
It would be interesting to see her beat if she goes to the seat, but like if she has to go to the seat belt, or if she can beat her with her own finisher, which I think would be if she wins with the seat belt, fine, whatever. But I think beating her with her own finisher is more of an exclamation point on, I am the champion. You are done. This is my title reign now. I have to make this title, see what this title is away from Timeless Toni Storm and even Mariah May, because as we said, even when Mariah held it, it was still in the Toni, in Toni's world.
Orbit, yeah.
So I think Stat wins here. Fernando has an interesting theory, which has been a theory that's been brought up before. I've even brought it up myself. Do you think Stat wins this by herself, or do you think Yuta and Marina help her and that she officially joins Death Riders, or do you think that they help her and she's annoyed by it, or do you think she wins this clean?
I think she has to win it clean. If they do get involved, I think she's mad at them. She flipped him off a few. I mean, maybe she does. I know there's still the thing, but really, honestly, I hope there isn't interference by them, because I really think this is an important match for her to win decisively. And so I hope not. If they do, I don't see her necessarily. She's too big of a baby face right now.
Yeah.
I don't. If anything, she's out to
I think
take
that
out
the Death Riders would be interesting at some point. But the way they're moving her, as far as the women's title goes, she has to beat Toni Storm clean, because Toni Storm is your biggest wrestler, period. Mm-hmm. She's bigger than anybody. Right now, she's bigger than anybody else on that roster.
Yep.
Man or woman, she's bigger than Hangman. Yep. Toni Storm is the biggest star
on the roster right
besides now. Mercedes Moné, Toni Storm is the biggest star on that roster. To make this title reign officially hers, and to make people they're not that they're going to forget about Toni, but for them to realize Stat's our champion now. This is it. She has to put Toni behind her for good, or at least for
a minute
until they move some other women through and start building up some other women for this feud. I feel like she has. Would I be surprised if Yuta tries to help her? Maybe she just decks it. Maybe Toni is like, you know what? I'm wrestling her, and she just decks Yuta, and Marina has to carry him away. It could be something like that. But I feel like, Kris has to win this title clean and she has to definitively beat Toni Storm, so people can't say, oh, was she? Which I haven't really heard, but you can't have her say, oh, it was she would just beat her kind of in a flash pin. It was really quick. It was a fluke. She has to beat her clean. In this middle of the ring, it's got to be, and with her own finisher, I think would set the tone for Stat and really definitively push her into being the women's champion.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. All right, and we have one more. I love this picture so much.
Yeah, this poster is really, really cool. I love this one. AEW posted this poster. I don't know who made it, but it's very cool.
Very cool.
We have Hangman Adam Page wrestling yet again, another current champion. I even in Samoa Joe, which again I said it before and I'll say it again. This is nothing against Samoa Joe. I love him. I'm a huge Samoa Joe fan. I'm just super annoyed that this is what we're doing. And so when they did the title match the other night, I was like, maybe the Ops lose and then Samoa Joe goes in as not a champion. And then Toni would be like, see, he's not a champion anymore, so it doesn't count.
Right.
It does. But what are your thoughts on this one?
I think Hangman retains. I think from the top of the show till right now, I don't see title changes happening huge here. Maybe we'll get a swerve one, and that's fine, and it'll be great. I don't think it's this. I think Hangman's going to be our champion for a while. I think he's fighting people like Joe in matches like this to really cement that I am your champion, folks. Just the same as Stat. I think that we've got two OGs as the world champions right now. And they need to fight people like this. I mean, Samoa Joe is going to give you everything in this match. It's going to be a great match. It's going to be a lot of fun. You'll get all the things that you need out of it, but it's way more effective to me if Hangman is the winner here. And and it's a huge match for Joe, regardless if he wins or not. He's in the main event potentially. Obviously of a pay-per-view in 2025 when he could have been a lot of other places.
Right. Yeah, and also that he is not defending. And then I know there's the argument of the trios champions, they should have had them drop the titles because the trios they keep wrestling in other things, and which I get. But I feel like because Samoa Joe has announced that whenever his contract is, as far as I have heard, we don't know when it's going to end.
Right.
Whether that's a few years from now, it's the end of this year, middle of next year. whenever it is. And so I feel like Tony is like, okay, who do you want to wrestle? Do you want to wrestle? Let's put you with Hangman. I want you to have at least one more title match, whether you,
right.
It would, like you said, it'll further cement Hangman as our guy to beat somebody at the caliber of Samoa Joe, because LJ asked about Samoa Joe's legacy in AEW, and Tony was talking about how if you had told him when AEW started in 2019 that Samoa Joe would wrestle for them and would be a champion for them, he would have pinched himself. And he's like, sometimes I still feel like pinching myself, because he was like, Samoa Joe he has done so much in his career. He's done so much for AEW. He's been a multi-time champion in AEW. He's been at that ROH. He's the first ballot ROH Hall of Famer. Like, he has nothing but good things to say about Samoa Joe, and which of course he should, because Samoa Joe is incredible and I'm a huge fan of his. But I agree with you. Hanger has to win this, and then we need to get Hangman away from current champions. He needs to start defending that title against people who have nothing to do with titles, and we need to have him and stop, because I feel like, I mean, of course, I guess you can make the argument, oh, well, Bandito's a double champion. Clearly Mercedes, but that's a special circumstance.
That's a thing.
You could make the argument, well, Bandito is the ROH world champion, which I still have issue with, not against, because I think Bandito's fantastic. I love him. Huge fan of Bandito, but he has 2 titles. So I guess you could be like, well, he has 2 titles, so Samoa Joe could have 2 titles. And like, I would not be mad at a 2-title Samoa Joe. However, I feel like Hangman is very early in this second run. And I feel like he needs to establish himself more and make it a more dominant reign than his first one. And I think Hangman has to win this one. Yeah. Crash says, honestly, Page has been the champion AEW needed right now for him. For a guy who cosplays as a cowboy, his whole approach has been authentic and refreshing. The champ I didn't know I needed. Yeah, he is. Yeah. Hangman is, and they were asking, and Tony was, when he was talking about Samoa Joe, he's talking about Hangman and how Hangman is a different champion than he was the first time around. He's a totally different character, different person, different wrestler. He's like, he has more confidence now than he had the first time around. He's happy now. He's happy with his family. He's married. He has 2 kids. I mean, he was married the first time and had it, but this time he's got a second.
He's settled in. He's a little older now.
He's happy and content.
More mature.
And I haven't had a chance to watch the documentary that they made that aired on Hangman yesterday. There's a half-hour documentary, but I watched the trailer when Hangman posted it. And it was just like 1.5 minutes, but it was so good. And you can see, and he says, he's like, I am so happy and content in my life right now. And you can see it. And I feel like he's more, like, I do definitely see the confidence in him. I think it started, we've seen it build, but I think for me, one of the big things was that promo in Mexico, where he cut promo in Spanish, where he felt so confident in himself too. And he was like, I'm a little nervous. I don't speak Spanish, a lot, but he connected with fans. That shows that how much that he connects with fans of any language. And I think that Hangman really is that guy. He is a lot especially for a lot of us who've been here since 2019. We saw him wrestle Jericho and not win. And we've been with him on this journey, and to see him get here now and then to beat a guy like Samoa Joe, is huge for him. And so I feel like, I'm excited for this one, I think, but Hangman has to win here.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I mean, it's just going to be great just because Joe is like, that's where he is.
Yeah,
and...
Joe's not going to make this easy for him.
Oh, God, no.
and Tony pointed out, he said Joe has something in his eye that I've not seen in a really long time. And he's really locked in to wrestling and what he's doing. And I think, and he was like, he's really like, Joe is he's locked in a different way, and he's going to bring that to Hangman, which is why I think like Hangman's not going to I don't think this is going to, and I think Hangman knows this is not going to be an easy match. So Joe's going to make this very hard for him.
Agreed. It's going to be awesome. This pay-per-view looks awesome.
Yeah,
it really
I'm
does.
Excited for this one. What do you think is going to be the match of the night?
I think my match of the night is actually going to end up being the Statlander Toni Storm match. Although I think the Brodito and Okada Takeshita one has the potential to be a really like, whoa moment. Because I mean, Brodito they're just on every single match they've had basically has been amazing. So
yeah, and like looking at this card, like there is not a weak card on this match. Like
no, card is like super tight. I was like, as I was putting it together yesterday, I was like, this is what I mean. They're usually good anyway, right? But this is like a super tight show. Like this has got a lot of good stuff on it. There's not a lot of chaff here.
Yeah, I think match of the night. Yeah, I think Stat and Toni is going to be really, really good.
Although Hangman and Samoa Joe,
that's going to be a great match. Depending on who Mercedes wrestles, could certainly make her a potential match of the night contender. Like especially coming off the match she just had with Persephone less than 24 hours ago, because that match was Persephone is great. And Mercedes made her look even. I mean, she's already good on her own, but Mercedes made her look like $1 million. So I think potentially, depending on who Mercedes wrestles, could make this a match of the night. But then I also very high on my match of the night list is going to be Brodito versus Okada and Takeshita, because to me, I've said this for a few times this year. Besides Mercedes, who I think is absolutely in the talks for Wrestler of the Year, it's a tie for me between Bandito and Takeshita. They are both having really, really incredible matches, not just in AEW, but Brodito, Bandito's having them in ROH. He's had them in CMLL. Takeshita clearly is having them in Japan as well. He and Bandito had a phenomenal match in Ring of Honor. And so the two of them individually are the two of my wrestlers of the year. And so I feel like this tag match is going to be really, really great. But yeah, I think this whole show is going to be really good. I'm looking for. And then I guess, because I was going to ask you what your sleeper is, but I guess they're all kind of like, do you have a sleeper match?
I think that Jamie Hayter match might end up being a bit of a sleeper, because there's so much going on with it that I think we might forget and then go, oh yeah, that was an awesome match on an awesome show.
Yeah, so. I think Kyle and Mark Briscoe are. I don't know if I'd say it's a sleeper, because I think they're definitely going to deliver. But yeah, Jamie.
But you never know; they could totally be like do something a little different, even because they're both so good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. There's going to be a ton of really good stuff. So I think we've gotten to everything. Next week we will be back on Sunday. We will be at our regular time, and also it's our Halloween live stream. If you have not been here with us before, every year we do a Halloween live stream where we, Mel and I both dress up in costume. We do the character reveal on air, so we don't know what the other one is doing or wearing or anything. We find out when you do. And so we also do a fun dumb little Halloween story or it's a murder mystery involving wrestlers. I come up with 8 or 10 random wrestlers from all over, and then we go through our murder mystery to see. So I'll have to go back and look at our list and see. And then usually our other broad, Keela, has been on, I believe she's been on every single one of our Halloween live streams.
We need to get with her.
Hopefully that doesn't change and she'll be involved in the live stream. We have invited other guests if they are available. They don't have to, we would prefer them to be in costume, but a lot of people are like, I don't want to be in costume. So you don't have to be in costume to come on. So maybe we'll have guests, or maybe it's just going to be me and Mel in our
crazy
outfits, in our Halloween live stream. Yes, it's a blind scream.
Blind scream. Yeah. So, it's a lot of fun for anyone that's new, and those of you who have enjoyed it in the past, we greatly appreciate.
Yeah, we always have fun, and of course, I mean, we do talk about whatever wrestling things, but we do.
Of course, we like Halloween. This is my Christmas practically. So.
I'm a huge fan of Christmas, but I also love Halloween a lot. It's
they're two solid holidays.
So it's fun. So definitely make sure you come back. So we'll be back at our regular time next Sunday at 1:00. And then the following Sunday, we have secured a guest who will be coming to hang out with us for a bit that we're very excited to have. I talked to them again today. As of right now, they are still confirmed for November the 2nd. So we've got some good stuff for you, and we hope that you will be back. And if this is your first time visiting us, we do we do a AEW pre-show for every single pay-per-view, but usually our shows are Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern time, and that's when you will see us next week, is at our regular time. So make sure, if you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also follow us on social media, as you see here on Blue Sky. There we are. We're also Powerbombshells on Twitter and Instagram. We post there about when our shows are going to be, and if our shows are going to change, we, like today, we'll tell you. We try to tell you ahead of time. And hello, David. Thank you for joining us. We are actually on the way out, but we are glad that you could make it.
We're glad you stopped by.
There is time to watch the replay and watch the picks if you want to, because this pay-per-view is not on until 8 o'clock this evening. Well, the tailgate thing is at 7, but I will be heading out to Ashe. They are having a Halloween show, and they're doing costume stuff. So Nikki and I are dressing up for that. So I will post to get a picture of me and Nikki in our Halloween costumes and post it to our stuff. But it's going to be a different Halloween costume than what I'm wearing at the Halloween live stream.
Of course, because it would be a surprise otherwise. It wouldn't be a surprise.
So we'll be.
And if you want to dress as a power bombshell, we sell our shirts on our fine friend who designed our logo, carries the Power Bombshells t-shirts in your classic standard wrestling black, but also in pink and blue. So if you're interested in that, please go check that out, because it just helps all of us. It's ethical consumption.
Yeah,
that's what it's when you were all searching for it.
And we had a real live artist make our shirt. This is an AI-free shirt.
No, Kyle, our Obey Cube, designed it. He does a lot of other. Once you go on that site, you see all the other cool stuff that he designs. He is not AI. He's a person. He has human people that he takes care of. So that money is going to take care of his humanness and other humans that are wonderful, wonderful people that I do love.
Are made to order, so they don't make them until you place that order. So they're not just sitting around taking up space. They're made to order, and they will ship directly to you anywhere in the world that you are. They will ship right to you. Again, we've mentioned it before. We don't know if tariffs are a thing with these shirts yet. We haven't come across that. If we do, we apologize in advance. We have nothing to do with it. Kyle has nothing to do with it either. That's all in our government. You can talk to them about it.
Please call them. Bother them as much as you need to, because they need to do their jobs.
Yeah.
Anyway, enjoy your WrestleDreams.
Yeah.
And your Saturday and your Sunday. This is going to throw me all off because I'm going to be all confused. Toni, geez.
I'm going to be confused because I'm going to see Roddy tomorrow, and I'll be like, oh yeah, Roddy's here. Yeah.
Double time. You get double.
And I get Queen Aminata tomorrow as well.
Ooh.
Which I'm very excited
about. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We super appreciate you, and we will see you next time.
Bye.